Hi everyone, I'm Megan Alexandria from Revolutionary Mystic, and today I'm talking to you about different ways to know when more spell work is needed. I get asked a lot, like, how do you know when it's time to do another spell, or how do you know if it was successful, and things like that. So today I'm going to talk about that because there's a variety of ways to be able to tell that it's time to do some more spell work. So first and foremost, what I would like to say is that it's called spell work for a reason, emphasis on the work part. So it's called spell work because you're actually meant to work on your spells, and magic and the craft and conjure, all of these things are not usually a one and done type of scenario. Especially in hoodoo, we tend to repeat spells or do them for a consecutive amount of times. In fact, when people do candle spells, a lot of times they will order them in runs of 4 or runs of 12 because they want spell candle lit, after the first one goes out, and to keep it going for an entire month. So anyways, it's called spell work for a reason, and it is okay to work your spell. So if you have a glass candle at home and you notice that it's looking kind of rough, or it's sketching you out for one reason, like the wick is getting too close to the glass and it's starting to burn the outside of the label or whatever, you are absolutely allowed to get in there with whatever tools you got and move the wick. And part of when you pay a root worker, like I offer candle services, when you pay someone like me to do your spell work for you, I'm attending those candles and making sure that you're getting the most optimal burn possible. So when I see things like that starting to go awry, then I will, get in there and manipulate it as best I can to get you an optimal outcome. So it's totally fine to work on your spells. The other thing that would let you know that more spell work is needed is the obvious, if you want to improve a condition in your life, whether that's attracting or repelling something. So if you want to do, if you want to draw more love into your life, or you want to, banish somebody that is spreading gossip in your life, that would be attracting or repelling work. And so improving the condition of your life or a situation is absolutely one of those ways that you can tell that it's probably a good time to do some spell work. The other way that you can tell is perhaps your first spell worked really great and you were getting really good results, but then the results started to fizzle out. We tend to see this a lot with money spells. You'll get that initial really good burst of energy, or it'll be good and consistent for a while, and then the energy just kind of runs its course. And that's because it's energy. So you've got to back that up. You've got to give it a boost. And if you want to take things further, then it's time to do another spell. Because like I said, oftentimes, even myself as a practitioner, I will do back-to-back spells to keep the mojo going, right? Okay. So the fourth way you can tell is if a situation has changed. So your intention or your desire has changed. So I don't know if you have ever, lit a candle for, I really want this job, and then that totally changes because something else better comes along. And so the petition that you wrote for the first candle is kind of null and void at that point, right? Or, I really thought I wanted to buy a house in this place, but now it turns out I really want to go backpacking, around the world for the next year of my life. And so, your intention has changed, your desire has changed. And so I would say that that's a good time to begin again with spell work and redirect the energy that you had once set forth. All right, so the fifth way to know that it's a good idea to do another spell is if your candle divination, so when your spell is finished and you're reading the inside of your candle, which is something that I do. You know, that's part of what happens when a root worker does spell work for you, is they will divine your results for you. But if the candle divination yields results that suggest that more spell work is needed, that's a very clear indicator that is a really, really good idea to do another spell. And that tends to look like if the glass chamber on your candle is entirely black or mostly black, it's usually a really good idea to either do that exact same spell all over again, or something like a block breakthrough candle, or a road opener candle, something like that, that seems to be the remedy for the reason that's causing all of the black soot on your candle. Sometimes that reason varies. One of the other common reasons is if somebody has, you know, put some type of crossing work on you, then you would want to do like an uncrossing spell per se. So that's one of the divination things that'll come up. If you light your candle and you can't keep it lit because it keeps going out, even if you get to see that spell all the way through, it's usually a good idea to do another round of that spell afterward, just to like really make sure and affirm that that energy is in there. All right. The other thing that would let you know in a divination that more spell work is a good idea is if the glass blows out. And I see this from time to time. It's not always like a bad omen. Sometimes it's an omen of really potent, strong magic. But you'll get a sense when you pick it up, when you look at everything else, and it's part of like, you know, the bigger picture. But if it is really looking and feeling like, oof, you know, probably a good idea to do another spell, I would listen to your gut and do another spell. So that, and the other thing that comes up in divination a lot is if the glass chamber of your candle is cloudy with wax, like a thin waxy residue, or it has a layer, usually it's like a half inch, an inch or more of unburnt wax at the bottom. That's a very good indicator that it's time to redo that spell, usually probably consecutively until you get a good clean burn with really good divination results. So then there is another way that tells me that it's time to do another spell, and that's what I like to call follow-up magic, and a lot of folks unknowingly make this mistake. And so follow-up magic means, like, if you did a repelling work to banish, like say, you know, to cast away evil or banish an evil spirit, or to rid of bad luck, once you remove that energy, that opens up energy. And so what you're going to want to do is to fill it back up with something. And in that scenario, you'd probably want to fill it back up with protection, right? So that way, whatever you've cast away cannot come back to you. And then the other way that you would want to follow up is when you are doing something that is cleansing. And so if you are, again, like removing energy and making all this energetic space, you want to fill it back up with something good. So if you're going to cleanse, then fill it back up with something like blessing. Or if you're going to cleanse and then you're going to fill it back up with something like good luck. Does that make sense? So anyways, those are the most common ways to know that more spell work is needed. I hope that was helpful. Feel free to drop me questions, comments in the comment box down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe to my channel, and you can always catch me and what I do on my website, revolutionarymystic.com, on Instagram, Twitter, on Patreon. If you want to support my work, it's patreon.com/revolutionarymystic. I hope you enjoyed this video. All right, see you guys soon.